Good afternoon, all. Another vlog for the man them, by the man them. So today I wanted to talk about connection in the kind of relationship sense. So connection, when you feel connected to somebody, how long does it last? How does it come about? Can you control it? Can you come out of connection with someone? So yeah, some of my thoughts. I want to hear what your thoughts are as well. So one of my theories is that connection comes about when you can talk to someone and be open and honest with someone, and feel comfortable. So that's why I think a lot of the time it may happen when people work together, because you see that person every day, and you're speaking to them every day. So at some point you're gonna get to have discussions about certain things which are personal to you, and if you find that the person's they don't react in a negative way or in a bad way, it might make you feel comfortable with the person. It might even make you even start to like the person. Like, oh, okay, I can start chatting to this person. Like, they're not ignorant. Like, it might even be a situation where you have the same kind of opinions and views of someone, because you can't really connect with someone if you don't have maybe similar morals, ethics, standings, behaviors. So possibly that could make it have maybe to different levels. Like, you may have a connection with someone and it's just a friendship connection. You may have a connection where it's like an attraction connection, where it's just pure sex. You may have a connection where it's much deeper than that. But how can you tell the actual difference? And where does it come from? And does it die off? I think it can die if it's not a strong connection and there's no attraction involved. Like, so the connection is quite, weak, so to speak, where you can be like, okay, yeah, we have the same views, but there's not necessarily any kind of attraction there. It's just that you both have a similar kind of understanding, because it might be a cultural thing. You might be coming from a different cultural background, or it might be that the two of you just, was raised in different ways. But yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe you might have a similar kind of experience or thought or idea. If you have a similar background with someone and similar kind of outlook on life, that kind of thing, does that endear you to the person more to create that connection? And if you actually like the person, romantically, in any shape, form or fashion, does that mean that will build a connection more? And if the two people have the same thing, is that like the basis for like romantic partnerships, romantic relationships? Yeah, it's an interesting one. Let me know your thoughts. Also, when it comes to connection, let's say you move on, you leave that workplace, or you don't see that person anymore. Can you actually go back to how it was before? Can you actually go back to a time where you had the same kind of feelings and beliefs with that same person before? Could you even restart a relationship with that person? Could you go back to square one with that person? Or once there's a break in that relationship, does that mean that the connection goes? It's interesting. Does that mean that you can only connect with certain people? Like, let's say just friendships, like your brethren. So the two of you might like football, both of you might like certain things. Like, I have friends where I don't see them for years, but whenever we catch up, like we it's just like where we left off, kind of thing. So can that same thing be applied in romantic relationships, so to speak? So connecting with somebody, it's an interesting one. How long can it last? Can it be rejuvenated? Just like in a normal relationship, really. Sometimes you're going to go through your hard times. How do you rejuvenate to go back to that if you never had that connection in the first place? So possibly, as long as the connection is not purely sexual, because from what I hear and understand, the sexual chemistry in relationships, I guess that dies after a while. If you live with them or you're moving with them, you see that person every day, want to start digging out their nose and passing wind and gas, because they're getting so comfortable. So what does that kill connection? Does that kill vibes? Does that mean when you're living with somebody you have to try and pretend like you don't want that person to see anything like that, your dirty drawers and all that kind of thing? So yeah, connection, is that something that is needed to have a successful relationship? Can you have a relationship with someone who you connected with once and then you don't feel that connection anymore with them? Plus there's I think the highest level of connection is where it's something that you have no control over, where it's not a sexual thing, like where you actually feel like you're physically connected to somebody, like maybe in a spiritual way, maybe in a spiritual sense. You might feel like, wow, you feel like when the person's coming near you, or when the person's up to something, or when the person's down or not feeling right, or that kind of thing. So it's interesting because people talk a lot about connection, like I feel connected to you, I feel connected to you. What kind of connection? Sexual connection, emotional connection, physical connection? How many different kinds are there? And how can you decipher which is which? And how can you decipher which is good for a friendship? How can you decipher what's good for a relationship, a long-term loving relationship? How can you determine which one is which? So yeah, that's my question of the day. Connections. How, what, why, when and where? Let me know your thoughts. Deuces.